Anyone who has ever played Grand Theft Auto or watched an episode of Pimp My Ride can attest to the fact that it is simple to make an inexpensive vehicle appear to be more costly by adding an excessive amount of bling to it. However, what if the cost of your travel is already high? When you consider how intricate airplanes are as machinery, it's not hard to think that this statement is true. If you have ever been curious in the cost of the most costly airplanes, then have a look at the list of the 10 most expensive planes in the world. However, before we start our countdown, we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel and also press the bell icon. Let's get started. 10 Antonov An-225 Mirai $250 million. The An-225 Mirai's are the heaviest planes that are currently in service and, were it not for the ever-present competition posed by the Spruce Goose, they would utterly dominate every size chart that they are a part of. The Mirai is projected to be a reasonably inexpensive plane, with a price tag of roughly $250 million for each one despite its massive size and impressive payload capacity. However, it is difficult to obtain concrete evidence. For all we know, the plane may be more expensive than we anticipate despite the fact that it is difficult to conceive of it as a more costly aircraft. 9 Boeing 747-400 LCF Dreamlifter $250 million. At one point in time, this bloated Boeing 747 held the record for being the world's largest airplane. However, shortly after that, an Airbus Beluga XL swooped in. The Dreamlifter was designed to transport oversized cargo, such as components for the Boeing 787, just like any other good large commercial aircraft would. We may say that the cost of one of the planes is approximately $250 million based on the fact that there were 4 planes built and the total cost of the program was anticipated to be $1 billion. 8 Boeing E-3 Sentry $270 million. The Boeing E-3 Sentry is the most expensive AWACS platform available, and it is also the only one of its kind that is no longer in production. It offers an early warning radar system as well as a command node in the sky that moves fighter jets about as though it were a real-time strategy game. There are extraordinary hacks that are performed in order to keep the Sentry's antique guts functioning properly despite its advanced age. It is supplemented by the Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawkeye series, which can be employed on carriers and is in constant production. The price for the most recent models is getting dangerously close to crossing the $200 million barrier. 7 Airbus Beluga XL3 $330 million. Have you heard about the terrible backlogs that the aviation industry is currently suffering with in regards to regional planes? It got to the point where Airbus needed to find a replacement for their Airbus A300-derived Belugas because things had become so bad. Because the issue became so severe, the larger Beluga XL aircraft, which are based on the Airbus A330, will continue to fly alongside their smaller counterparts. Since the crash of a Boeing 737 MAX has taken some of the wind out of Boeing's sails, the Airbus Beluga XL, which will cost somewhere in the neighborhood of $330 million, taking into consideration that the total cost of the program is $1 billion and that there will be 3 models built, will have a lot of work to do. 6. F-22 Raptor $334 million. When it comes to military procurement, one thing you need to be aware of is that the expenses of research and development are extensively factored into unit costs. This helps the corporations minimize risks of manufacturing a defective jet and then not getting paid for it. At first, the intention was to purchase a total of 700 F-22. However, by the time it was ready to deliver it, the order had been reduced to a number that was somewhat less than 200. Since production was halted, each of these world's most advanced stealth on the surface of the Earth has evolved into a one-of-a-kind artifact that cannot be replicated. 5 Boeing 777, Boeing 787-10, Airbus A330neo, Airbus A350 XWB, mid to late $300 million. These are all competing ideas for a long-range wide-body twin-engine jet aircraft. The overarching goal of each of these designs is to transport large numbers of passengers in a manner that is relatively cost-effective. These passenger jets all come with a hefty price tag. Additionally, the airlines are pressuring aircraft manufacturers to produce aircraft with an increased capacity for passengers, which results in higher ticket prices for passengers. At the end of the day, each of these boys is unremarkable, boring, and pricey. 4B-1B Lancer $415 million. The Lancer was at first conceived of as a supersonic bomber in the 1960s, but the project was shelved in 1977. It was brought back from the dead in 1981 due to delays in the B-2 development, and it was finally put into production in 1986. It was designed to travel at Mach 2 to destroy massive Soviet armor formations that were swarming Germany in World War III. Rather, it spent the majority of its life bombing Third World troops in highly forgiving air situations. When it was purchased in 1998, the airplane had a price tag of $283.1 million, which is equivalent to $415 million now. 3 Boeing 7478F $419.2 million. Boeing's passenger jumbo aircraft, the 747-8, has a freight variant known as the 747-8F. It turns out that making an airplane carry boxes is more expensive than making an airplane carry people. It is nonetheless a respectable plane despite not being quite as outrageously huge or strange looking as its lesser cousins that are used for exterior cargo. 2 Airbus A380 $445.6 million. The Airbus A380 is one of the most costly aircraft currently available for purchase, and it was developed to compete with the Boeing 747 in the jumbo jet market that serves airports organized in a hub-and-spoke pattern. It has come to light that this plan is not successful, and that a bulk carrier aircraft such as an A380 is not truly required. This is the reason why the decision to terminate the program was made public this year. Despite this, it is possible for extremely wealthy people to rent it out as a private jet. And even if you don't own a private A380, flying first class can still be ostentatious in its level of luxury. In order to make room for first and business classes, an A380 eliminates approximately 300 seats when compared to a configuration that only includes economy seating. 1B2 Spirit $2.1 billion. This little one is the flying wing design that has had the most production and is the most expensive in the whole wide world. Because of its low observability, it was capable of penetrating the air defenses of sophisticated world powers like the USSR and delivering nuclear bombs. As a result, it spent the majority of its life bombing ISIS fighters and other similar military forces that were unable to bring down a plane. It's quite cool that every single one of the 21 planes has a name that begins with Spirit of. These are the top 10 most expensive planes in the world. Tell us about your favorite one in the comments section below and also subscribe to our channel for more luxury videos. Press the bell icon for all the latest updates. Thanks for watching.